helping you with real estate, Mr. Mike Johnston.
All right, so let's go ahead and begin. When you first log in, you'll see this screen, and everybody, you should be able to see the screen that I'm sharing with you. Let's turn on the super cool green little blob. So we have the little green blob there. When we first begin, what I'd like you to do is go ahead and we're going to do some of the basics and set some things up. So if you come up here to preferences, hopefully you're all doing this at the same time so we can see what's going on. But if you click on preferences, it comes up here and there's a lot of different things that you can do one at a time and set the things up that you'd like to for mapping, your information, the views that you have that are available. I have office views as a broker, but you wouldn't have that, but you'll have agent views. But let's come over here to the system preferences wizard. Okay, so for those of you that are just joining us, go ahead and log into Paragon. We're going to click on preferences and then come over here to the preferences wizard. All right. So you should have that. Now this user preferences wizard is going to walk us through most of the basic setup things that we need to do to set up our profile and information here in Paragon. Okay. So we've got that. It says there's 16 pages that we're going to go through, and let's go ahead and click start. The first one talks about your picture. So this will put your picture on flyers. It'll also show it in the directory and other things. It has the information here that you need to know if you're going to be utilizing this particular system and put pictures in here. So if you are going to use this, it tells you what format the picture needs to be in and other things. Compression, image size, etc. So JPEG image only. You can resize with one of their tools they have here. It has the formats, etc. So there's your picture. So you can upload a picture here. Next, you may or may not have an office logo format, or it might be an individual one. If you have this, you can upload a file size and put in a logo there, but I believe you may not have that one. Market monitor. This right here is talking about on your main screen what's going to show up, and when it does its searches, what area that you want it to do. So I have on here single family properties, and I put down the type, so I have the active things, so you can choose those. So right over here you can click on the search and you can put down the different types of property. If you're a big land person, all you want to know about is land, click land, commercial, multifamily, whatever. I put down single family. I'll hit save. And under that, I'm going to click over here, and I want to have it pull up single family detached. You know, you can choose whatever you want for your stuff that's on here, or multiple ones. Okay. And then the areas of town. Here I chose Buckskin, Chubbuck, Highland area, Pocatello North, Portneuf North, Pocatello South, University, and Pocatello West. So I chose the different areas that I want. And the default section for which the market monitor category will be displayed is under the market. Here's where I have that set. So if you look behind us, right here, it says market monitor behind us in the screen. So that's where it's going to show up under market tab. That's what I've chosen right there. Days to go back, I've set it up for 7 days. So it's going to pull up information and keep rolling every 7 days. It'll keep this information right on my screen for me. Click next. So we're now on page 5. Default search criteria. If you go in and do a search, you can have it remember what you did the last time, or you can have it every time you're kind of doing the same thing. Let's say you're always pulling up Pocatello, or you're always pulling up Bannock County, or there's certain things that you always do. You can put that down and save it as your default search. When we go into search, we'll talk about it. Then here you can click on that and it will remember it and always load your default search each time you go into a search, if you mark that. Enable lookup long descriptions. It talks a little bit about that. Note, searches with large numbers of lookup values will require scrolling to review thoroughly. It just shows lots of information there. Mapping, you can set that up. Boundary by default, if you want it to start in a certain area, you can set that up. Zoom to fit, to display all the listings. So if it's showing a lot of properties, it'll show the map larger so it can pull that up so I can see it. Parcel layer, lines only. Map view, you can have it be road, aerial, hybrid. If you want it to load and show the properties, like 2 days ago when we were doing the class, I like to click on the part that showed the, what's it called? The roads, as well as the buildings and structures. So it was a Google Maps view. So I'm going to change mine to aerial. Save search page, how many to pop up on it? Tax autofill, it's going to use the MLS default database. The default database would be Bannock County. Next, so we're on page 6. Here, default hot sheet result. When you go in and do a hot sheet, you can have it pull up and show you all the information, or you can have it be set up that it's just going to go ahead and give you a spreadsheet. And that's what I've chosen here, is it's going to be the hot sheet spreadsheet view. Default search results will be the default MLS defined spreadsheet that I've modified, but you can have your own or you can choose. See, here's the different things that you can select. And you just choose which one you like the best. And you can always come back here and change it to your default. And even when you're doing your searches and things, you can tell it to save this as your preference. Double click. So if I double click on one of the properties, it's going to show the agent only handout for me. Default email, it's going to be the client handout. Going through here, you can have for the tours, display phone number, preferred phone number to show, general disclaimer, and all these other little things. Some of these things you could just leave as default, so not a big problem. Page 7, you can choose the theme. Right now I have it be red in the background, but let's say you want to choose it to be orange, pink, winter, fall, Canada, the 80s. I wonder what the 80s one looks like. Ooh, look at that change in the top. We have, see that here behind, it has a CMA that's under a Rubik's Cube. Membership is a van, tax is that, preferences is a little thing.
That's amazing.
I didn't know we had the 80s, but let's go ahead and put it back to, we were on red, but you can choose whatever you want and it can modify those. Okay, next, so we're on page 8. I'm just looking at the 8 of 16 down here. Number of contacts to display. So when you open something up, you can have it be 25, 50, 100, or 250. I always like to have as much as I can, and then I can scroll up and down if I would like to. And then how many days to go back for the activity widget, and that's over here, this widget right back here behind us. The default I have is set to be 7. Some of this might be a little bit boring, but once you have it set up, you don't have to come back and do this again. Select a time zone. I live in Mountain Time Zone, so that's what I selected. Okay, you can have it let you know other things for calendar notifications. If there's a listing that's about to expire, you can have it set up. I believe it's your listings. Mobile phone number, you can put it in here so it can send you information and texts if you want it to on notifications, so I've done that. Autofill in your email address and BCC you, so when an email goes off, it's going to automatically send you one as well. Include default message body in the email. Like I said, yes. And you can verify your email, because here it has it and you need to verify your email. The first time you set it up, it'll send you one and it'll come back to you and you'll verify that that's actually you. So when it sends them out, it will be legit. Page 13, display property addresses in the hyperlink. I'm okay with that. Default reoccurrence. Every day when it goes out, I want it to search, and here's the time that it will notify. It's at midnight, basically. Goes for 12 months. Some of these things. Okay, here's a standard text email. So I have my name down and certain things there, so do that. This next one's one I think is a little bit better. So you can have multiple email signatures. You can put in pictures and other things like that. So you can create a nice signature if you're going to use this, or the default emails that come out from Paragon. And we click next on that, and that should be all of the pages that we went through. Congratulations, you've done that. So we'll go ahead and click close. So does anybody have any questions on those default settings or how to do that? That was something simple. Just a reminder, come up here to preferences. And then we went to the preferences wizard, and it just went through and helped you set up everything. If you want to go back through it again, you can. and it will modify those for you, and it makes it rather simple to correct those. All right, now that we've done that, up here on the top, there's a few little things. There's community support, MLS documents, compose email. So under MLS documents, let's go ahead and click on that. Here you can do profile input sheets. It has right here. So just like what we talked about on Monday, if you have one of these sheets printed off when you go out to do your listing, you can fill out these data sheets. So when you come back, you can input all the information correctly. So that's here for the land, residential, farm and ranch, multifamily. So they've got those. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and close this. How it happens is when you open things up, it puts little things across here. And then you can close those up if you want to, or you can leave them open so you can come back to it later. Then compose email. This one's kind of interesting. If you weren't using an online account like Gmail or something, and you had to open up a specific program, this was set up originally that you could just come in here and click compose email when you logged in on the internet, on the web, and you could send out a message to people and it would come back, etc., and you'd have all that information there for you. So here's a little bit of basic stuff. I have both of my signatures on this one. I should turn one of them off, but you can send stuff here. All right, then there's also this help section. So if you click on the help section, it opens up a new window, and there's a lot of information here. And if you wanted to come back through here, there's videos to watch. You can sign up for some training. There's even webinars that are here. So you can search for the different little things. If you want to learn more about listings, RETs, preferences, CMA, you can go through these different little things here. So that's the home. Now here's training videos. Wait for it. So here's homepage videos. It talks a little bit about that. You can click on search. It'll pull up the different little things for IDX, etc. So here's different little things to help you with a little bit of a video. Power search is an interesting one. But you can go through those and it will teach you a little bit more about this. All right. So that would be on our main screen up top. Now here on the main screen, as well, if you scroll over here on the left-hand side, there's a login for Supra. So if you wanted to go in and take a look at your lock boxes that are assigned to you, if you've claimed them, it will give you information about that. There's some other websites to go to there. Here, Paragon has the quick training videos that takes us to the same spot that we went to. It talks about some additional links, county links, and other things that are going on here for Bannock County if you wanted to pull stuff up. They're all right there. Okay, training videos is the same link as we did with the help up above when we clicked on the help button. All right, so across the top here we have home, which is this page. Search, we'll come back to that one. We'll spend most of the time on the search part. Listings, this is where you go when you want to input a listing. CMAs, that would be a whole nother class, but you can do the CMAs here. Then here's contacts. Let's go ahead and click on contacts for right now. It's a very simple system. You can put in information here. It doesn't let you import the way that some places will. So if you come in here, you just click in add contact. It brings up a page with a lot of information on people here. So you can have a lot of information about the people here. You can put down comments, multiple phone numbers, etc., and just have that filled out. The things that are required are just basically the first name and last name. So you fill those two things out there, and you can either have this be an active contact or an inactive contact. If the person's not wanting to be looking at properties or anything for a while, you can leave them in your database and just turn them onto inactive, so they're not being bothered with certain things. Okay, so this is a way, originally these were set up that you could log on, see this information, have it available for you without going to another program or pulling up your phone and getting that information. So that would be your contacts. Now back up here, you can add them, you can view and manage the ones, you can put them into different groups, buyers, sellers, etc. HomeBot is something that you can purchase from them. I'm just going to skip that. Then you've got reverse prospecting. Reverse prospecting is that you can go in and search to find who has a buyer for one of your listings. So when you enter a listing, you can go in there and you can say, how many people have a buyer in this price range. As long as they've clicked reverse prospecting, that would work. So in here, you can see use reverse prospecting. You can put that in right here. Now, alias is the name that when the other agent pulls it up and finds out that you have a buyer that matches their criteria, they'll say, oh, contact number 123 or Fred Flintstone, if you want to put a name in there. I wouldn't really put their real name, but you might just say, put something there if you wanted to. All right, so that would be the contact section. Financials, a lot of calculators and other things here that you can utilize. 50-year versus 30-year, doing extra payments, interest-only loans, compares, qualifications for buyers, those type of things. So you can have all of those under financial. Taxes, here's the tax data. So right here, they just have, in this particular MLS, just Bannock County. So if you had wanted to access other tax databases in the Snake River Regional Multiple Listing Service, they have Jefferson, Madison, I think they had 4 different counties that you could access. So here are the different things. You can search by street, get this information here for you. Okay, so that would be the taxes. Membership. Go into mailing labels. Remember having labels? Agent roster or a membership roster. So you can go in here and on the agent roster, you can see the different things you can search for. The agent status. So what do we want to do? Here we want that if they're for the board or the association only, if they're MLS and board, non-member MLS only, you can choose which ones they are here. And I can choose city, etc. Right here, it shows 354 people. So let's go ahead and search for that. Or I could pull up just one of the agents and get their contact information from there. So here we've got the different little people. We've got that. Okay. So that would be the under membership for that. Resources. The main thing that I pull up in the resources might be for the stats. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that one right there. Now under the stats, you can do market, rankings, and the broker has additional things, but you can come in and find out about the market, how that's going. You can come into the market stats and put in for the month. I want to find out from January through April for the date range, and you can generate that report. Takes a little while and it pulls up all the things. So here's the different class, ranges, average days on the market, average list price for each of those things. And I didn't put any criteria and I just pulled that up. But you can do different reports that are there. Okay, so that would be our resources, primarily stats like I mentioned, that I utilize that for. Preferences goes in and we can modify just a certain thing if you wanted to that we've done before. Okay, so now we're going to focus more on searching, because searching is what we primarily do with this particular stuff. We'll go in and search. So here on our main page, on the left-hand side, it has a lot of different information, and it's right at the very beginning. You can do multiple different types of searches from this particular page. Right here, you've got the quick search. Now, under here, it says the last quick search. So if I highlight over that, it pulls up several. Here it shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my last searches. So if I did one a little while ago, closed it out and came back, it will remember the last 5 searches that I've done. So I can come back in here, click on that one, and it will load up that criteria for me so I can do the search. Now, load saved search. So here it is. Any that I've saved for searches, it will show up here. I don't have any that I saved. I deleted them the other day in preparation for class. Okay, so that would be your last quick search, being able to pull those up. Now here you can search by map. So here's the map, and you notice in our preferences, I told it I'd like the satellite view, so that's what it's showing up. And here's the home section, so that right there would be the Keller Williams office in Pocatello. or I have it default, and I can go around and I can go ahead and draw something along those lines, and it'll pull up results. Here it shows the different little things that are there. I can tag different things, and then I can go ahead and save the information I have. If this is the area that I want, I can say add to criteria. So when I'm doing my other search, it will just minimize it to this particular area that we're searching for. Okay. I can search by MLS number. So somebody says, oh, I saw this property, here's the MLS number, and you get that feedback. You can type in the MLS number there and pull up the listing. Or if it's an address, they say, oh, it was on Cedar Street. I don't remember the house number, so you can put in Cedar Street right here and search for it. Price range, you can do a quick search for between a low and a high number, so between 100,000 and 150. Status, you can put down that it's active, pending, sold, or there's an agent. Somebody says, oh, I think it said Fred Flintstone on it for the listing agent. You could search by that as well. Then you can add other criteria, but that's for your quick search tab. All right. And when you enter something in, you can have it see, it'll do a count and show you how many properties match that already. You can go ahead and clear the information that you have, or go ahead and search. And based on your results that you chose for it to come back, it will either show it in a spreadsheet view or some other view, depending what you selected earlier. Coming up here to the top, this would be the main search button. So if you're going to do something a little bit more detailed, just like in Navica, there's the quick search things that you have, and then there's the main search. So here I can search by class, which would be single family, the lots, multifamily, farm and ranch, and then of course the multi-class that searches them all. I could search by mapping, hot sheet, these different little things, inventory, tours, open house, or I can go into my saved searches that I have. Well, let's come in here and let's just go into search by class. Click on single family. So right here in status, up on the right, we click and it says, here's the options. If I click on this part, it shows active. Now active in this MLS shows under contract with a contingency, must sell a home, under contract with another contingency, or it could be a contingency short sell. So that right there, if I click the main one, it will show all of those. If I didn't want that, I can unselect them. I can just say, I want the actives. I don't want something that has a contingency. Don't want to deal with that. So I can select it that way if I wanted to. Solds, pendings, expireds, withdrawn, canceled, temporarily withdrawn, rented or leased if it was something along those lines. So I can go in here and make that selection. Type. Now under type, what kind of type of home do I want? Condo, townhouse, manufactured home without land, with land, other, recreation or cabin, single family detached, timeshare, twin home. So I can go in here and do that. So I want to have the single family detached property. Looking here for the next one, I can choose county. Here we're just going to say Bannock, and let's go ahead and choose power. 2 pages, so click to the next page. Bannock and Power counties. Now I'm selecting it there. You can also start typing in the county and it will highlight it for you, so you can do it that way as well. Areas. Now there's a bunch of different areas that you can select from. They put the number 1 when this was first set up to have it be the main ones in Pocatello to be pulled up. So that's why there's a 1 in front of all those different areas. Where here there's other things, Arbor and American Falls and other stuff. So these are common areas that are searched for areas. They do have a map that shows when you highlight Buckskin, it shows you what area it's supposed to be in. So they have that information that's there. Okay. Let's see here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and choose, Let's say that we want to have the Highland area and the university area. So I've got that. Now, each time I'm making a change, if I look up here, it shows me how many properties match that criteria. So right now I've got 38 properties that matches that criteria. I could choose city instead of an area, and that would cover all those different areas within that city, but I'm going to skip that for now. I can put an address number, a street, price, number of bedrooms, baths, and things along those lines as well. I just had some distracting noise in the back, so I had to get that stopped real quick. Sorry. I can go into square footage of the home, garage type, stalls, bedrooms, baths, price range, whatever criteria that you want to put in here, you can do that. Now there's a garage type for attached, detached, style. So we can go into the type of home that's there. So I can go with the ranch style home. Save. So it took it from 38 down to 24. I can go into a secondary search. So right here, let's click on that, and it pulls up a few other options that are here. Fixer-upper, yes or no. Features, it must have a skylight. It must have this or that. Air conditioning, elementary school. I can go into those different things. Or who has it listed if I'm searching for that. Then here we have the advanced criteria. I can search for something in the private or the public remarks if there's something there. I can do that. Once I have all that done, it shows me a synopsis right here of what's there, and I can click search. So it will now show me all those different properties that match that criteria. Wait for it. And here it says waiting for pocatello.paragonrels.com, which normally doesn't take this long to do. But then you'll have the criteria that shows up here for us. Okay, so I'll let that do that while we're waiting. It says it's unresponsive. I'll go ahead and exit that for right now. Okay, so that's how you can do your searches that are there. Now, just a couple other things. Under listings, when you're wanting to add one, if you have read-only access, you will not be able to put listings in. But if you do have full access, then you go ahead and click on listings. You can add, and you can put down by the criteria. And you can either go in and maintain your existing listings, or you can correct or work on a partial listing. A partial listing is something that you're getting ready to list, that you've started putting information in, but it's not ready to go active, or you don't have the full listing done. I might be working on it, getting all the information in there. We're waiting for the right price to have, etc. Okay, so come over here. Let's go ahead and enter a single family listing. Now we're going to see all the different fields that are available. And there's a lot of different fields that are here that you can fill out. So starting up, you can have pictures here as well. You can double click to add the main image right here, or we can add them a little bit later. So it says new listing. It doesn't have an MLS number assigned to it yet. Class, single family, because we selected that. The dark red R squares are the ones that are required. So if I click on here, type, it will show you the different options that you have. Now, what type of home is this? I'm going to say that it is a single family detached. Then we go to the next one. Where is this particular property located? Bannock County. Area of town. Well, let's say that this particular one is in the Highland area. So I'll put down Highland area. And you just start going through here and saving all the different criteria that you've got. Price range, $375. Oops. Address, 404 Arabian. City, I'm going to just start typing it in. I type in Pocatello, click on it, state, defaults is Idaho. They do have other states, and it's kind of strange because we shouldn't be listing properties from other states here, but they have that. Zip code 83201. Status. Now here for the status, we're going to enter it in as an active listing. But if I had a listing that already needed to change the status because it had a contingency on it, or I'm using it to put in for a comparable, there's different options. Okay, search by map. Now, when you're putting in the information, you want to do this validate map. So you click that, it pulls up this page. I don't know if it shows that for you. I hope it does. So then right here, you can see where the house is, and you can verify, yep, that's right. If not, you can move that a little bit to a different section. Then once you have that right, you can click save. And that way it verifies when they're doing a geocode or when they're doing a search by neighborhood or that elastic map search, it will pull up the property in the right area. Here it says include an IDX. Remember on our listing forms it says yes or no to have it be included. If you didn't want it to be or someone selected no, this is where this MLS shows that. Okay, I'm going to click on the next one. So I'm going to click it and open it up and scroll down. VOW address to show it, yes. Include it in a VOW, comments, automated valuation model, yes. So those are those choices that on the listing agreement, it gives you those options. And some MLSs have it really easy that you can make that selection or not. Agent, it shows default as you. Office, you can put in a co-listing person as well. Compensation offered. Now here it says BA, so someone working with the buyer, a buyer's agent. You can put in whatever you're going to be compensating. All right, I pressed button, jump down. Dual or variable commission. Now, some people don't understand what a dual or variable commission is. A dual commission is when it's one for one person or company and something different for the other. Variable commission can be when you have it up to a certain price. That would be a certain percentage that's earned. If it goes above that price or below, depending on what it is, then it could be a different commission that would be paid. Contract type, exclusive right to sell is the most common one. Exclusive right with prospects, exclusive agency, and exclusive for leases there. Buyer exclusions, yes or no. And agent owned, because we need to make sure that that's disclosed. Sign, is there a sign on the property, yes or no? Key box, yes or no? The location of that key. It can be a code, key at the office, lockbox, not applicable, other, or with the owner. Here I said there is a key box, yes, so I'm going to just say it's a lockbox. Homeowner association dues, yes or no? No. The amount, the frequency, how often to pay it, listing date, expiration date, and it goes on and on. So just a bunch of the basic things that we have here. Number of bedrooms, baths, we fill that type of stuff out as well. Upper level, the different levels that they have in the home. Instead of the grid, like Navica, here we fill them out individually. Property exclusions, directions to the subdivision and directions how to get there, high school, middle school, add those different little things there. Occupant name, owner's name, it's foreclosure, relocation property, and short sale. By having these different things here, people are able to search. Oh, it's a short sale. I'm looking for short sales. They can pull that up. Oh, is it under foreclosure? Yeah, it is. Okay, you can pull it up. Relocation property, all these different little things. So the more precise you are, it helps other people search for it. Okay, bank owned, yes or no. Remarks. Here you've got the public remarks. Features. Here you can go into all the features. you can start putting in showing instructions, and you can search over here of what the differences are. So if you use that MLS data sheet that we talked about earlier, it has all the things that you can click or mark on it. So when you come over here to enter the information, you can enter it in appropriately. Okay. Goes through all these things, and of course the required ones are red with the big bold letter there. Irrigation, topography, setting, submit to the internet, terms, all these different little things. And then the sold information here on the bottom, which right now it's active, so we don't have the sold information, so it's not there. Now when I have all this information in, right here, I can search to save listing or save as a partial listing. I'm going to save it as a partial. Why? Because I don't have all the information in there. It won't let me submit it till I've matched everything or put everything in here. Here it's showing me some of the things that are required. Okay, so that would be putting in a listing. Any questions on entering a listing? Okay, the next thing is we can come in and we can maintain our listings. So if I come into here and I want to maintain listings, if I have one that's already in here, I come into this particular spot. Let's just close up the listings. I go into listings, maintain listings, and I can pull something up, and let's say I want to modify one of these. I just can click on it. Or over here where it says select action, I click on that and it says, what do you want to do? Maintain, edit the expiration date, add or edit a virtual tour, copy or clone a listing. Now, if it's your own listing, you can copy it or clone it as they use it. So if you have 24 lots, you could put in one the way that you have it set up, and then you can go in and modify it for all the other lots. And then just change the legal description, other things, price, etc. Picture administration. You can put in the different pictures that are here, change the order of them, modify them, view the activity that's happening on the property, do a price change, add or edit remarks, go in and change the code of where it is on the map. Associated documents. Pocatello requires you to make sure when you submit this that it has, if it requires lead-based paint, that you have the lead-based paint disclosure here. So please make sure that you do that and have that in. And property disclosures are also very important to have. So that way all this information which you're needing to disclose to people is here and it's readily available for the prospective buyers. You can come in and close it, or you can share it via text. So you click on this right here. It says, I want to share this information to somebody. I can select a contact. I don't think I have any in here, so I can't do that. But anyway, I could add somebody and it just sends this information. They can pull it up on their phone. Okay, so that right there would be our basic information for our listings and maintaining the listings. There's a lot of information on CMAs, but I'd rather you watch the video on that if you're wanting to do something more with it. So that has the information that's there.